So to set the stage for importing things into Schoology itself, what I've done here is I've gone to my CP World Banks, and I modeled the World War II unit, and I've created three different test banks, or exported three different test banks into a Blackboard 7.1 and 9.0 format. And within the tests, I also did a World War II unit, and I exported a total of 6 tests as well. They're also zip files. What I'm going to do now is go on over to Schoology. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work within actually the, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Schoology, and I'm going to click on Resources. And this is where I'm going to be importing my tests and my banks. I find that this is a little bit easier because this process will cut out a few extra steps compared to what we found in the help guides in Schoology. Also found that if you try to import things into a course, you need to make sure it's unpublished. And if you forget, then students see things and they freak out. And so I think working in resources is a little bit easier to work with. What I'm going to do now within resources, I'm going to ensure that I'm in personal. So this is like kind of like my Google Drive, if you will, for Schoology, of Schoology resources. I'm going to click on the little icon that says add a collection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the first one CP World 3 tests. And then hit create. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to create a CP World history banks. Now I have like these folders to match what I have on my desktop. Once I'm within the tests, I can add a resource, and I can add my World War II unit. If I go to my banks, I can also add a World War II unit, and that's a folder. What's nice here is if I do import these things, I can share it with colleagues. So if I have a PLC, I can share it with them, and then that way they have access to it as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the banks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little down arrow, and I'm going to import. I'm going to import a Blackboard zip file. I'm going to import it to an existing collection, and the collection is what I just made, in this case, the CP banks. I'll choose the name. I can then choose my unit folder, in this case, World War II. I'll hit Next, and then I'll click on Attach File. I will then go to my desktop. Go to my banks, World War II, and choose the first one, hit Open. Hit Import. And then what I'll do is I'll repeat for the second and the third bank. Again, it was a Blackboard. It's existing. It's CP World Banks. My World War II folder. Next. Attach. You'll see now that it's already opened up that folder out. I don't have to navigate it for a second or a third time. Hit Open and Import. And I'll do the third one as well. Import. Blackboard, existing, CP Banks, World War II. Next, attach, open, and finally import. Now, when I go to that banks and I open the World War II folder, I'll now see my 3 test banks are imported. That's exactly what I want to do. I'll now repeat the process with my tests. I'll just simply click on tests now. I have my World War II folder created. I'll go to import. Again, it's a Blackboard, existing. In this case, it's tests. In this case, it's World War II. Hit Next. I'll go to attach a file. Now what I'll do is I'll just navigate back over to my desktop, and I'll go to my test, my World War II. I'll choose the first one. Open and import. And I'll just repeat, run the table. Blackboard, existing, my course, my unit folder, find, next one on the list, and just keep on repeating. My check now will be, if I click on this tests, I'll see these tests have come in. If I'd like to, I can go over here to the gear cog and I can convert this to an assessment, which you'll see later on in the instructions. Or what I could also do too is if I was to click on a test, I could also go ahead and I can convert this to a test bank if I'd like to do that too. But since I'm doing the tests and banks separately, I'm just going to keep them separate. But if you do this now, everything is staged and ready to go. If I wanted to, in 45 minutes, administer this World War II Spring 2013 test to my class, I would just simply click to add to course and find the course in the section, and everything's good to go. So again, the navigation, just getting everything set up and just making it systematic, you'll be able to go through this pretty quick.